Hello and welcome to the last video for Badge Level 1 that's going to cover schoolwork. I'm going to quickly walk you through what schoolwork is and how you can use it for your class. So you can see that I have gone from the My Big Campus homepage, I clicked schoolwork, and that brought me to this page that you're looking at right now. Schoolwork is useful for students who have a device with them or if you're going to be using the computer lab. Obviously, if you're limited on devices or computer lab access, this is not going to be too helpful yet, but hopefully in the future it will be. The first thing that you can do is create new schoolwork over here on the blue button. So I will take you to create new schoolwork and what that page looks like. This is going to allow you to create the type of assignment. It can be a quiz, an assessment, a practice quiz, a survey, a poll, or simple assignment or task. For this one, I'm just going to create a practice assignment. I'm going to title it, which you have to do, practice assignment. And here in the descriptions, write your directions here. If you do not, you will see when we preview this assignment that the questions don't, unless you want to copy and paste your directions in every question, I would always just write the description, make the description my directions, sorry. And if you have an attachment, a file from your H drive or your flash drive that you want students to look at, you may attach that here. Same thing with library item and drive. Quick links I'll go over in Badge Level 2. So always save and continue. And here's where you can add new questions. So I'm going to make this multiple choice, but if you click the bubble with the question mark, you can read the type of question that this is. The only thing I'm going to note about fill in the blank questions is that you write in the prompt, but when you write in the answer, when students answer, they have to answer exactly what you wrote in. So if your answer can be more open-ended than word for word, I would go with essay. So for this practice, I'm just going to show you multiple choice. And here you can make it as fancy as you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and start typing. And I can assign a score value, and I'm going to make this worth 2 points. I can also attach in the question a file or a photo or a video or something from the drive and library. So here's where I type in my answers. And if I have more than 2, which most of us do, I can always click Add New Answer. And then I can, if I made a mistake, always delete the answer if it's not the right one. For you teachers, you want to put in your answer key, you click the little bubble and save. And then you can go ahead and keep adding different types of questions. If you want to add new directions because the assignment's going to shift into something else, you can click Add New Question Group, and then you can add different directions if you would like. If you need to delete a group or edit the group, you may do that here. Underneath options of each question, you can edit them, duplicate them if you want to, or delete. I'm going to click on Add Standards because that's very, very important that we're all data driven now, and so it's very important for you, if you're going to use this for data, to add your standards to each question. If you cover 5 standards in a lesson or 5 standards in a unit and you're going to create this assignment in My Big Campus, each question can have an assigned standard. So I'm going to go with Indiana Academic Standards. I'm teaching math. And then select your grade level. You've seen this before. I've done this before in other videos. And I can always favorite my favorites standards, so I don't have to click so many times, but I can add my standard to that question and save. That way, when I am all done with adding in questions, I can see the type of results I get with the standards. So did they meet all the standards? Did they understand them all? And then maybe I can add in 5, 10 questions. But for this practice, I'll just add in 1 and save. And here is where underneath standards, if I click standards, if I covered 5 standards, 2 standards, 10 standards under this assignment, I can put those in here. The assignees, I'm not going to do that for the moment. I haven't assigned this, so here's where I can add new assignee. And if you have created groups, which we went over in the spring and the calendar and all those things, you can go back and watch my old video about that. You can add in your group. This is the group that's going to take this quiz. I'm going to delete that so I don't actually assign it to that group. But let me show you the rest of how to add in, choose your group, start date, due date, password. I suggest using the password option because if you teach 3 sections of the same class and you give the same assignment or quiz, which is fine, and the only problem you run into is students sharing the answers or talking about the quiz a little bit, or going and doing it on their smartphone or maybe their iPad or something in the IMC or at lunch. So if you set a password, the student can't actually get into this assignment or have someone else do their assignment until you give them the password, so while they're in the classroom. And then if it's due when class ends or the time ends, then they can't get into it outside of class. So I'm going to set a password as ABC. They can submit it however many times you want them to. For the Freshman Academy, it can be multiple submissions. You can allow late submissions. You can allow time frame. You only want them to take 30 minutes. And again, if you don't want them to get below a certain percentage, you can set that as well. Again, you may leave that blank. You only want them to take it once. You can have it show them their results on completion. You can even have them show the correct answer if you want to, but I'm going to leave that blank because they may need to retake. And you can create a new discussion for groups when they're finished if you want to do that. I'm going to leave that blank as well. So click Save. And then once I've assigned it, it'll show up, and I'll show you where that shows up later. If you want to look at how the students see the assignment, you can click Student View. And here's what the students see. They can type a comment, a question to you, and you can type comments and questions back to them as well. So this is where I have a question on number 1. And then you would see that comment. Alright, so that's kind of quickly how you add in assignments. I'm going to click Schoolwork again and show you a few more tabs. When you start assigning schoolwork and getting schoolwork back, this needs grading is going to fill up in your notifications over here and then up here. So if you want to narrow who submitted things, you can click on your groups. That way only work from that class will show up. And you will see their name, if it needs graded, how submissions, average, and type of assignment it was. If you ever get a schoolwork assigned to you, which you might, you can see that I have a schoolwork assignment that I need to do. I can click on it and do it. The students will, once you assign them a schoolwork, they'll get a notification and they will see underneath their schoolwork tab that they have work to do for you. Academic reports. This is very useful, especially if you have assigned standards for each question, because you will see if I covered 5 standards and assigned an assignment that covered all 5, there will be a bar graph that is, or a color-coded graph that will show me how students ranged in this assignment. Did they master it? Do I need to go back and reteach anything or work one-on-one with a student? That's why assigning standards to each question is important. Maybe not on a poll or a survey, if it's a quick formative, you're talking out loud, but definitely for assignments or quizzes or tests, if you're going to do tests on my Big Campus. So that's quickly what the tabs are at the top. And the last thing I'm going to quickly cover is the import questions, export grades tabs over here. It looks awesome. And I know that there is possibly a way from Information Now to export grades to Information Now, but I know that it's kind of complicated and I haven't mastered that. The same with import questions. I think there is a way to do it. Again, I haven't mastered it. So if you are an all-star, rock star here at the high school, please come talk to me about how you figured out how to do import and export from schoolwork, and I would love to share that with you, or you could share it with all of us. But there are some online grade books that this My Big Campus works really well with, and a lot of schools are using it. I know that we aren't there yet, but hopefully we will be. So as right now, we can't really import and export grades, but I'm hoping to learn how to do that, or make sure that we can do that in the future and share that with you. So that's how you use schoolwork, what schoolwork is, and why assigning standards are really important to the academic report at the end. So hopefully this has helped you out, and it will help you out with getting badge level 1 for My Big Campus. Thanks a lot. Hopefully I can talk to you soon about how it's going.